Hey everybody, how the hell are you guys doing? So today I want to talk about Bitcoin, because up until I think it was earlier this week I posted my first full video actually on Bitcoin, talking about how I fully do believe that if it crashes down to 30% from where it was when I recorded, it's going to be good in the moderate term for altcoins. I think I released that Monday and just happened to be where fell in line with the universe and Bitcoin crashed. I do think it needs to go a little bit further until it really pumps our altcoins. It'll probably take about a month after that happens, 1 to 3 months, which I explained all in that video, and it still puts us in line for April to July being what I think is going to be the peak of the bull run. If not, I've already got my strategy in line for it ends up being Q4. So down in the comment section, I was asked a little bit about my opinion with Bitcoin, because I don't talk directly about it except for in that last video. And I mean, it's hard to not at least mention Bitcoin once in a while in videos, like I'll reference it. But I got a couple of questions, just kind of gets my whole overview thought about Bitcoin in general. I mean, yes, I can just go ahead and make this a really short video and say, yep, Bitcoin's a standard. And I could leave it there, but that'd be kind of useless. And we're here in this channel to just kind of pass back information, get a few ideas, see what we can do to help each other with crypto investing, and really just gather information so we can make our own best choices. And Bitcoin's something you can't ignore. If you're in crypto, I think you have to have a strong opinion on it. Doesn't actually matter what the opinion is or what topics, but you should know a decent amount of information about it, because at least as of now, the entire market follows Bitcoin. What happens, good or bad for it, is good or bad for everything else. So the questions I was asked, I'm sure these are all going to kind of slaw together to a certain extent. But I was asked, do I own any Bitcoin? Would I be willing or interested / curious in buying some in the near future or now as prices drop? What's my general thoughts on Bitcoin? And do I think that it's ever going to hit $1 million plus per coin? In short, no, yes, that's not a yes or no question, and no. But let's get into a little bit more of that, shall we? So do I own any Bitcoin? That's the shortest one. No, I do not. I'm very open about it. Right now, I just have no interest in owning Bitcoin. This will probably tie in a little bit my general thoughts about it. But at least in this point of the market, I don't see the point in starting a new position in Bitcoin, that is, right? If I already had it, sure, I could understand putting a little bit more into it. If you want to use it as a long-term investment, I don't think that's a bad idea. I know several people that has Bitcoin and they put a little bit in every week or every month, and it's their savings account. I don't think that's the world's worst idea. I would have a normal savings account with it, but talk to your financial advisor about that one. If I was to open up a new position in Bitcoin now, since it's dipped, what would be the purpose, right? I mean, I have different goals, different risk aversion, and different amount of finances I'm willing to put in from everybody else, right? And I see Bitcoin as a long-term play. I'm not going to put in X amount of money, $1,000, wait for it to go from 75K up to 100K again, and clicked that 25%. That's just not what I'm interested in. I personally would rather put that into, well, what I look at, and I've called it before, as my Bitcoin or my long-term savings account of Quant. And I do buy a little bit every week of that. Tiny little fraction. But so in the short term, would I buy Bitcoin? No, personally I wouldn't. But it doesn't mean that's not a bad idea. So know what your goals are and your style of investing. The style of investing you'll kind of gather over time. Like, I've kind of got mine down to what I like, what I'm comfortable, and what's worked well for me. I'm generally a hodler. I'm down for swing trades, but I keep an eye on which ones I'm going to swing trade, and I got certain patterns and things I look for it. I'm picky with it. So, general opinion of Bitcoin, it's the safest crypto out there. Any in the top 5, I could probably extend that to the top 10, are safe moderate term. Any of the top 5 would say are safe long term. But be careful in what we're defining as long term. I'm not sure at this moment I would put long-term plays like 10 plus years in anything other than Bitcoin, at least not with the idea concept of keeping an eye on it. But Bitcoin is going to be less volatile. I mean, I think if I would ever get into leverage trading, Bitcoin is what I would leverage trade 100%, because it's the one that is most patternized. We can get a good idea whether Bitcoin's going to go up or down at certain times. So if I ever wanted to swing or leverage trade Bitcoin, which, to come back to one of the other questions of would I buy any in the future, I'm going to eventually do a video on my tactics for the bear market, because I already have a full plan developed, what I want to do. And of course, plan's going to change. I recognize this, but you can't adapt a plan if you don't have one to begin with. But in the bear market, I'm going to be buying some Bitcoin as long as it drops from at least 60% of whatever its all-time high this bull run ends up being. And I will end up doing two things with it. I plan on buying a little bit every week. I don't have a number in mind yet, or a percentage or anything. And I plan on leverage long on it during the bear market, because it's going to go up. I might, I'm definitely going to keep in the market, understand what's going on. There might be terms where I'll short it. But I mean, if you know Bitcoin or confident Bitcoin's going to go down, short. Go right ahead for it. Obviously, do your own research, understand what it means, your odds and everything, because crypto is a little bit of a gamble, it is, and as soon as you start doing leverage, you made it more of roulette. But I want to discuss with you guys what my current bear market plan is in a near-time video. Probably one of these weeks when everything's just moving sideways and we're all just bleeding from our eyes staring at the red charts. But I very likely will be owning some Bitcoin during the bear market. And I'll explain a little bit more down the road as to why. But I think it's going to be the easiest and safest gains for a year to 2 years in the bear market. Get those profits around the time of the halving when everything goes up for the first bounce, and then start the major part of my altcoin bags. But that's for a different day. But yeah, I probably will buy my first fraction of the Bitcoin sometime whenever I think the bear market begins, more so when I see Bitcoin drop about 60% of its all-time high. And the last big one is, do I think Bitcoin is ever going to hit $1 million plus? I do not. I really do not. I just don't foresee it happening, guys. One, the market cap that would have to be into crypto, I did the math, but I wasn't quite in the best state of mind to remember what the math was. But we're talking larger than current stock type numbers. For Bitcoin to get to $1 million. And if you really think it will, great. Tell me your arguments down below, because I'm more than open to changing my mind about things, right? It's just an opinion based off the information and beliefs I have right now. But for Bitcoin to reach $1 million, and if you think it will, that means you think there's people out there who's going to be willing to pay $1 million for Bitcoin, right? It can't get to a price without having people willing to pay that price or more. And, we're not even at 1/10 of that price right now. Yes, I understand the way markets work. There was a time just 5 years ago where people weren't willing to pay 15 grand for it. I get it. But the concept of diminishing returns, right? Though Bitcoin is rare and it is on a limit amount of coins that's ever going to be made, the price increase from each bull cycle is going to become less and less over time. Right? There's less exciting, it's more diluted, more people have it. And I really think that between right now and to the end of the next bull run will probably be the largest jumps of Bitcoin. Like, I think it's going to hit 125 this bull run. I could see it going higher, but I wouldn't bet on it personally. I don't think it's going to hit 250. I would be personally surprised if it, almost borderline shocked if it hits 175. But I'm willing to eat my words. And let's say it hits 150 this bull run. Next bull run, depending on so many different factors and variables, I could see it going from like 150 up to like 375 to 400. But end game, the next 2, 10 years, 20 years after that, I have a hard time seeing it ever hit over 500,000, because people are going to buy, yes, but the more that they buy, it's going to make less of a difference down the road. People are going to start selling it a little bit more. There's probably going to be more and more trading with it. The ETFs are going to, I think, going to be the main influx or inflows for Bitcoin, probably starting in the next 5 years, because Bitcoin's already out of range for most retail to buy. Right? It's already mostly just federal, state, we'll just call them whales, those large market movers. It's already getting out of the price for retail. So soon, the only way retail is going to be getting into it is ETFs, which is going to cut out the vast majority of liquidity, and realize that the whales, the money makers, these guys make most of their money off of retail. So if retail becomes less and less involved in Bitcoin, they're going to have less and less power and ability to make money from it. And I think it is going to be much more of just a asset to hold. So I don't think it's ever going to hit $1 million. Not at all. But those are my thoughts. Tell me yours. And if you make a decent argument, I don't have to agree with it, just has to be a valid argument, maybe I'll do a video supporting your argument, because I love playing devil's advocate. Haven't done that to you guys yet. If I ever do, I'll let you know at the end of the video when I say something for a while and I just think it's bullshit, but do it convincingly. I'll always let you guys know. I'm certainly prone to that. But that's what I think about Bitcoin. It's the best crypto out there in terms of an asset. It's relatively useless in terms of a blockchain at this point, but hey, to each their own. Let me know what you guys think, and you'll hear from me again soon. Peace.